I'm gonna trust myself. Oh, I'm gonna love myself. I'm gonna trust myself, love myself, believe in myself like I used to. Oh.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to 25-8 Podcast. I'm Keith Kilgore, along with my co-host, Johnny Free, and today's special guest, one I'm very excited for. We got Ernest, the Cat Miller. Thank you for being here, man.
Hey, man, listen, thanks for having me here, man, And I want to tell you guys this. I don't play. I want y'all to know this. I know y'all looking at me. I'm really a killer.
Oh, okay.
These hands are deadly. So I want you guys to know, be nice to me, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Don't
sir.
push me.
So we got to know, you were born here in Atlanta, Georgia, and growing up and played football
Yeah.
and played at Savannah State University, correct?
Savannah State University.
As an All-American linebacker.
And you know what was so fun? I was on my way to, high school. I was a really good linebacker too. I was highly recruited, and one of the school recruited me was Florida State. So Florida State recruited me, and I was on my way to Florida State. I got out there and I met old Bobby Bowden. I don't know if you guys know him.
Oh, man.
Legend, man. And, I got to messing around. This was at like a pre-camp. So I'm messing around at the pre-camp. I'm a linebacker. We were doing like 7-on-7, So every now and then I'll jump out and I was fast. I was like 4'4", 4'3". I'll jump out on the guys. I was small though. I'll jump out on the receiver and check the receiver. Then I come out, I was just showing off. But my love position was linebacker. But when Bobby Bowden saw me checking at 6'2", 210 pounds, saw me running with the receiver, Bobby Bowden looked at me and said, "Hey, you're going to be a good cornerback." And I looked at him and I said, "No, sir, I'm a linebacker." He said, "No." Then he smiled. He was chewing the pocket. I still remember that look on his face. He had a look on his face like, "You're going to be a good linebacker. You're going to be a good quarterback." Man, I went home. They had the phone on the wall. We didn't have like like everybody got these nice phones in their pocket. I was on the phone crying to my mom, "I don't want to come here." I said, "Why?" I said, "He wanted to change me. He wanted to switch me to a defensive back. I don't want to play defensive back." So I went home. I told my head coach at my high school about what I was doing. He said, "Well, that's what you get for showing off." I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, I tell you what, you can always go to the college I went to." And I said, "What school is that?" He said, "Savannah State." And I'm like, "Where's Savannah?" He said, "Savannah, Georgia." So I said, "Would they let me play linebacker?" He said, "Yeah." So he called his coach, and the coach said, "Hey, bring him down here." He looked at my film. He said, "Hey, that guy can play wherever he want to play. He can play quarterback if he want to. We just want him here." So I ended up going to Savannah State, had a good time, good career there, All-American, went there a few years and had a great time.
And then you move on to the karate world and become a three-time world.
No.
You went to the NFL, right?
Yeah. Well, I tried out with the NFL. I tried out with New York Jets, New England Patriots, New York Giants. But, I signed a contract with the New Jersey Generals.
Okay.
So that's how I got to New Jersey, up in that area, So, but I started karate when I was like I said, about 10 or 11 years old. I was really young. Karate was the first thing I started.
That just a passion of yours ever since when you started it, you knew like, I love this, or?
I want to go back to the Generals. Can we go back to the Generals real fast?
I mean, y'all running the show. Which one? Who's the boss? Okay, well, let's go back
So did you play with Flutie and Herschel there?
Yeah, Herschel was there. But we didn't play. Remember, at the 84 is the time we got in and they were suing each other.
Okay.
Donald Trump had just sued the NFL and it was a case against the NFL. So, we were just sitting there like this, getting paid, hoping that everything was going to turn out fine.
Okay.
So that was the year they won the case, but I think Donald Trump won like $1 or something.
Yeah.
So it dispersed, and I tried out for a couple other teams. Then I ended up going up to Canada, Saskatchewan. And then I said, you know what? I'm going home. I'm going home. So I came back to Atlanta and tried to figure things out, went back to school, graduated from college, and still I was trying to figure out what do I want to do with my life. And then I started working for an engineering company. Where it was kind of fun. It was an engineering company, but the company was like one of the companies that were taking wiring you see up above the ground in the business park, and they were putting them underground in these controlled vaults. And so, you'll see these green doors on the ground. You won't see what door, but if you open it up, you go down, they had all these electrical wiring and components in there. So I started doing that, which was a pretty good job. Was doing pretty good. I was making a lot of money in there, traveling everywhere. But then I think we had bad luck because BellSouth.
Yeah.
That's it. They ran everything. They were like the godfather.
Oh, yeah.
BellSouth was one of those companies. They didn't have to work with you because they was the only telephone company you can have.
Yeah.
You miss one day, you pick the phone up. Hello, my phone off.
One day?
One day, man. You miss one day, they cut your phone off.
Well, I was going to go back to you said you made a phone call on the wall.
Yeah.
That was one of them kind where you just picked up and said, hey, operator, can you connect me? You wouldn't have dialed.
See, didn't I just tell your ass don't play with me? Didn't I just tell you that? Don't play with me. But yeah. Now, what was it? See, you got me lost again. I talk so much. I get lost.
Talking about BellSouth.
Yeah, so BellSouth, yeah. So BellSouth came in and bought the company and took over everything. So then I said, okay, what do I want to do next? Do I want to stay in this business? Don't look like it's going anywhere. So I decided to do what I love. I went back to karate, went back to martial arts, and the first thing I did, I had to find a job teaching. So I wanted to teach somewhere where I could kind of make a difference to kids and people like that. So they had a karate school in Atlanta. It was a Joe Corley karate school. So I went over there and met Joe, and Joe gave me my first teaching job. So I started teaching, and then I started working my way back into it. When I was growing up, I was fighting and doing tournaments every year, just doing tournaments, up until even when I would go to high school, I'd play football season. I'd take a little time off from karate, but then after the season, I'll go back to karate. And I was still fighting tournaments. So, it was some familiar path there that I was able to take and get back into it. And I started teaching karate.
Your teammates ever come watch you during the off season?
Oh, yeah, man. Everybody used to watch me, man. It was funny. Everybody loved to see me do karate because I like to show off. I didn't just kick nobody's ass. I like to show off. I like to beat you in style.
So, you're teaching these classes and teaching these kids, making a difference, which I think is awesome. You said you wanted to give back to kids, and to me that's awesome. And that's kind of what we want to be able to give back to kids and veterans on this show. So I think it's cool you did that. So you're teaching these kids, and one of them happens to be Eric Bischoff's son, correct?
Man, you just skipped over the whole life. Yeah. But that's good. Yeah, one of them did. Happen to be Eric Bischoff kid. And we had a good time. But I taught a lot of kids in Usher Raymond. You know him?
Yes, sir.
He is Usher. I taught him, Emmanuel Lewis, Lil Webster. I taught Jermaine Dupri kids.
Mm-hmm.
I had a whole laboratory of these kids that was parents that was well known, celebrities and superstars. And they liked the way I worked with the kid because I was kind of hard on them.
Mm-hmm.
But,
So when did you win your first championship?
My first championship. Mm-hmm.
I need to get the operator on the line.
Yeah. I won so many of them. I'm trying to see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Football, basketball. I mean, what?
Karate.
Oh, karate. Okay. I think about in my first tournament, one of my first tournaments, I was talking to one of you guys' friends here. And what's my guy name? Jason. It was the Battle of Atlanta in 1975. I was a kid, and my instructor was like this military guy. and he was really hard. And one of the things he would preach all about, we got to win this big tournament. This one of the biggest tournaments in the world. It was the Battle of Atlanta. So in 1975, I won. I was probably like a white belt or yellow belt just starting out, but that was my first tournament that I won. Now, my first championship, they didn't really have like championships then, you know? They kind of started this later. The more tournaments you won, you know, you became a champion if you beat everybody, you know? So I became a champion like that when I was like about 25, 24. I was sponsored by the Paul Mitchell National Karate Team.
Okay.
So going into that tournament, the first one you won, how many kids are there probably competing out there, people?
Man, you know what? I could throw a number out there, but even just that one as a kid, it was hard.
Yeah.
You know, because we didn't know anything about how to compete. We didn't know. Only thing we wanted to do was win.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a process. So, you know, we didn't have, even if I faced one kid, it seemed like I faced a whole army of kids, you know, because a lot of stuff go through your head when you're out there. So I only remember the one fight. It could have been 10 fights, but it was in 1975. So it was just a good learning experience. So it didn't matter how many times I fought, I won.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. You know, those tournaments when you're starting to move on is you know, noticing like, I'm sorry, man.
Hold up. One more time now. One more time, we'll take that hat off and no glasses. I'm telling you right now. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's all right. But you know, to go ahead.
I'll stick the little one on you. She'll get you.
Oh yeah, I love her. That's my girl. I'll let her. His daughter. You been his daughter?
Oh yeah, Reagan, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, competing these tournaments and moving on, it's got to be like, you know, looking around like, man, I'm still going, like I'm still in it. And
Talking about now?
I mean, you know, any tournaments that you've been in, to me, like just like being in a tournament, moving on, and then getting in the bracket deep, and like, man, I'm still going. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's a process, but see, when we first started karate, it was like you just fought your age, your age group,
yes, sir.
and you got first, second, or third. That's it. You know, sometimes you go there, you may have one fight. Sometimes you go there, you don't have anybody fight your age, you know? It wasn't until I got a little older when I wanted to win. But I had to teach myself there's a process to winning, to being a champion. You can win. Sometimes I did my best and I lost. And I just took it on the chin and said, okay, I'm going to go back and work on this and come back next year. I learned that process. I learned that. But then there's a time when you got older and you know how to win. It's like, okay, I always get, it's kind of funny. They'll give away three places. They'll have first, second, and third. First place got a beautiful trophy. Second place got a nice trophy. Third place got a small trophy, but you still got a trophy. And I used to always come in third for some reason. Till one day I said to myself, I said, you know what? We getting ready to fight for first, second, and third. I'm not taking third or second. I want first.
Mm-hmm.
You had to really start preparing yourself to do that. So once I took my first place trophy, no lie, for about 10 years, I didn't lose. Didn't lose. And I was driven for the rest of my karate to win just because of something somebody taught me when I was young. It was just something, a voice in my head. When this guy scored, I got to score 2 times. So I took that and kind of processed that, and then that got me to first place. But then they added what they call a grand championship. That's when all the first places will fight each other. When I got in that, man, that was hard because now I'm fighting kids that were better than me and this right here. So I had to step it up a little bit.
Well, like you say, you're fighting the best.
The best of the best. For first place. Think about it. You got heavyweight first place. You got certain weight class first place. You got height and short. But they didn't care who you were. If you won first place and you at that age range, you know, in that group, you got to fight each other to be the grand champion.
So when did you win your first grand championship?
Man, why you keep asking me all these years? I don't know.
Everybody wants to know. Not everybody wants to see you out there dancing with James Brown. They want to know you all this other stuff.
Well, when I won my first grand championship, man, I can't say the tournament. I've won so many tournaments. I just know I won quite a few to where I was like considered the best kid fighter around, like from a different, area. When I said 75 until I was like a senior in high school. I was like one of the top kids fighter.
I just think it's so cool because you're no different than the other Hall of Famers that we've interviewed. We'll ask them these questions about these things and they're like, man, I got to sit down and think about what I actually did.
Yeah, you don't know. It's like I said, it's a process. I can go back and make up a good story for you guys, but it's really, I don't remember because you in the moment. That's the first thing you got to do. You got to be in the moment. You can't be thinking about what happened last. You can't think about what you're going to do. You got to be just prepared to stand on business in that moment. And that's what what got me through.
Yeah.
You got guys. Now, I looked at guys a few times like you. Guys I'm getting ready to fight, they were small. They had a big hat on. And I'm saying to myself, this kid right here, I'm going to smash this kid.
Yeah.
I'm going to smash this kid ass. Then next thing you know, he get out there and he's like, damn, he's better than what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's you saying that. It's like we were talking to Champ and we were talking to AJ, and we asked Champ, we like, what was it like coming onto the suit? He's like, I don't know, because I was so focused.
Who?
Champ Bailey.
And
was
who?
so focused, and AJ.
AJ, what AJ got?
Well, we was talking about WrestleMania.
WrestleMania and can't compare. This real fighting.
I know.
This real fighting. You can't compare baseball.
It's just
you got a couple of guys out there throwing baseball. You got a couple of guys out there fake wrestling. This real shit.
Yeah.
That's his dad. This real stuff. When somebody kicking at you and throwing kicks, you can't run because you got to stay close enough to do something just in case they're off a little bit.
Yeah.
That's dangerous, man, to tell somebody, this guy going to throw punches and kicks at me. And guess what? I'm going to stay here and wait till he's done. And then I'm going to knock him out.
Yeah. So we can close out the karate and move on to the next. So when did you win the first get into the Hall of Fame? Sorry, not win, but get into that.
The Hall of Fame, I think it was probably in like 1996, 97. Yeah, around that. Right before I got ready to go and start wrestling, So they inducted me in the Hall of Fame then.
Okay. Black
Belt Hall of Fame.
Do you think like going back to karate real fast, do you think there's a like back then you couldn't watch film on these people, right? That you're about to.
I mean, you could watch film, but not like they could today because I'm not that damn old.
No, I know that. Yeah, I just didn't even think. Like film just started coming. But as far as the film, they're watching it now. Do you think it would?
It would. I mean, let me take myself. I talked to Andre Tippett. I don't know if you guys know his name.
I know the name.
Andre Tippett was a hell of a karate star. He was outside linebacker for New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
And he fought at the same time, fought in the same ring. So this dude big, he's huge, and I mean, he's deadly. He's still into martial arts right now. I forgot what style he take, but he's teaching and stuff like he loves martial arts. Off season, when they won the Super Bowl, he came back, he fought in the tournament. And I remember we fought our first time at the Battle of Atlanta. I beat him. It was like 1-2. Then we fought again, and I beat him the next time. It was like 1-0. So the third time we got ready to fight, I remember Andre Tippett telling me, he said, I'm going to get you this time, Ernest. I'm going to get you this time. I said, what have you done different? He said, man, I went to the mountains and I ran hills and I worked on my karate. And I was like, who did you work with? He said, nobody, I worked by myself. I said, so you work with the guy that beat 2 times? I'm about to beat your ass again now. You to the ones out there with somebody who beat me before. So you can't prepare for a fighter. You can't prepare because most of the time things just happen,
Yeah. Yeah. So then you meet Bischoff. And so how does that all come about?
Well, who is Bischoff? Do y'all know? Do anybody out here know Bischoff? Anybody know Eric Bischoff?
I had to kind of think about it for a little bit.
See,
He's that little guy that
that little guy.
want to be wrestler on TV, right?
That little guy want to be around.
Yeah.
But Bischoff was a hell of a karate guy. We could stay there.
That's
Your
what I heard.
father probably know Eric Bischoff. He was from that up in Minnesota area with I forgot the guy that put on the big tournament up there. And he's over the ISKA. But yeah, one of my kids happened to be a karate kid, and his father happened to be Eric Bischoff, who was a great martial artist. And at that time, I think he was either vice president or president of World Championship Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so how'd that conversation come about to go do your thing?
Man, I have been teaching his son for about teaching, let's go back to teaching, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I also fought kickboxing, ISKA kickboxing championship. And I won that too. I did the Golden Glove boxing. I won that. I fought against Holyfield when I was like 15, the Board Club. In the Golden Club, I started boxing. So it wasn't just karate. I did karate for a little while, started taking class. Well, I also flip and do boxing at the YMCA. We was at back then, the YMCA they helped the community.
Yeah.
They put so many things out there in the community that we probably would have never saw, if it didn't come through the YMCA. And boxing was one of them. So we started to box, man. I boxed with Holyfield. I boxed with some of the great boxers, So when we got back, I saw the guy throw the 20 minutes up there. I'm trying to get my story right.
I mean, we still got plenty of time.
Yeah, we got all the time.
Don't you ever do that again, kid. Don't you ever take my attention away when we talking about a great man like me. Where were we? Who are you talking about?
Holyfield boxing.
No,
the YMCA and all.
Yeah, so we boxed. I did a lot of other stuff, kickboxing. But karate was my main thing. It was my focus that kept me. Karate kept my life straight. When I said everything I did after karate, it was mostly like martial artists. It's like back in those days, man, we used to hear people talking about karate people, martial artists. They'll always say, hey, if you're a martial artist, you're going to bow. If you're a martial artist, you're going to help an old lady across the street. If you're a martial artist, you want to save people. I learned to fight because I wanted to be that person who could say, hey, don't pick on the little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Pick on me.
Yeah. Why are you picking on the little guy then?
I'm just looking at you, bro. Do I scare you like that? So I was that guy. So that's why I got into martial arts, and when I started working with kids, it was easy to work with kids. It's easy to tell them, don't do that. If I tell you, okay, everybody put your headgear on, and you look around, everybody got the headgear on, but that one kid, you can probably say, he going to probably do this again if I don't straighten his eye. How do I straighten? I make him do 100 kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Make him do 100 kicks. That's not going to hurt him, but it's going to make him better at kicking.
Mm-hmm.
And now at the same time, he understands that he should have done what I asked him to do the first time, follow direction and focus.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Any sport. It don't matter if it's karate, martial arts, whatever, football, baseball.
It depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
How you use it. Martial arts in my life that got me through a lot of stuff mentally.
Mm-hmm.
I think it teaches discipline and respect too.
Discipline, respect, yeah. Yeah, but it helped me get through pro wrestling because I was never a wrestler kind of person. I didn't grow up saying, I want to be like Abdullah the Butcher. I want to be this, I want to be this wrestler. But once I got into it, I learned to be humble and treat people with respect. That's what you get back. No matter how much money they have, how big they are, how small they are, if you treat people with the respect that, that's what they're going to get back.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when can't nobody in there beat me.
Mm-hmm.
I was the baddest dude in there, You got to keep forgetting I'm a real karate guy.
They're like, okay, don't really hit me when we're...
Yeah, they said that you hear that all the time. Okay, I'm going to make your kick look good, Cat. Who was that, man? Disco Inferno. I said, so Disco, I'm going to do what they call a jump spin around kick. put your hand up and catch it. He said, oh, don't worry about it, Cat. I'm going to make that kick look good. I said, no, don't worry about the kick. Just put your hand up. Boom. Soon we get out there, I do the jump spinning kick. Nathan, I hit him with the kick. He laying down, blood coming out his nose. I said, Disco, I told you to put your hand. He said, I didn't think it was going to come that fast. I said, that's why I said, protect yourself. You don't have to worry about the kick. Protect yourself. It's going to be exactly where your hand is at. So anyway, just working with people like that, man, and working with Eric Bischoff, he got me in the business. And like I said, I was able to do what they said, get over. I made a name for myself, just like I've done in anything and everything I put my mind to or got involved in.
Yeah, and going back to the respect thing, I will say this, because I know this firsthand. Spending time with you at WrestleMania with all these other wrestlers and everything, and then everybody that I know that I talk to, I don't know, every one of them respects you. I mean, every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
They all talk highly of you. You don't get that with everybody.
And they don't talk highly of me because I was a bully.
No.
They talk highly of me because they knew what I can do, but I never act like that. I learned a long time ago, I used to be that fighter, that karate guy that could fight. We can walk into a karate school and I wanted to fight everybody in there. And I'll do it. You can ask my wife. I'll go into a karate school and say, who you want to spar with? I'm going to start on that end and I'm going to work each round. I'm going to work my way all the way around, I swear. And I sparred with everybody. I sparred with everybody. Boom, boom. We moved around, made a lot of friends. So, I learned as I'm getting older now, it's not that I can't fight, but martial arts to me now is the art of not fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Because when people ask me, have you ever been into like a real fight? No, never. Now, have I been approached? Yes. I got into it with a guy on the basketball court. He told me, foul him one more time, he's going to pop me in my mouth. So I put my hand on him. He put his hands up. As soon as he faked that, man, I did a kick that they call a side kick. I just put that kick right out in his face. Just didn't do it. I just held my kick right in his face. And he stopped and looked. Then everybody started laughing, right? And he said, bro, anybody who can hold their foot up that long, I'm not fighting. And he walked off. We kind of laughed about it. He walked off. That's the art of not fighting, because if you show him what you can do, maybe we just don't want that trouble.
Yeah. And then going back to, it's not just the older people that you wrestled with and all that other stuff, because that's the ones that I know. But then the younger generation, we were sitting there like carrying cross coming up to you.
Oh, yeah.
And just talking about how, that meant a lot.
You never know who's watching you.
Yeah.
I learned that in martial arts, man. I like to show off. I like to show my pretty face. I'm pretty. I'm a pretty man, but I'm a bad man. You understand what I'm saying?
You can buy those mirrors anywhere.
Yeah, well, whatever. You're going to need to buy another pair of glasses if you say that one more time.
Another hat, too.
Yeah,
Huh?
I'm going to bend the hat up. I'm going to split the glass and bend the hat up.
We'll be little eyeglass over.
Yeah, glass going to be crooked, hat going to be sideways. What happened? The cat.
The cat got me.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, then you debuted in WCW. Well, you went to the Power Plant first, right?
I went to the Power Plant, man, because it was so funny when Eric Bischoff came and got me, and he saw me teaching his son, and Garrett and I think Garrett was about maybe 10, 11 or 12. He's a young guy, and he loved to fight, but he didn't know the forms. So what I had to do, I'll get there early and just say, you got to know the forms to pass your belt test. So I get there early, and I always worked out with him. Mom would come and drop him off. We would work out, boom, boom, work on the forms. Boom, and I became almost like a big brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had to fight. And I remember going through the fight situation, and it was kind of funny because I showed him how to do a jump spinning back kick, which is one of the most difficult kicks around for you got to be kind of athletic to do this, and he was pretty good at it. So you had to be patient. It takes timing and everything, because what you do is you catch somebody running in and you jump. Instead of looking at them, you spin your back on them, spin, and then you stick your kick right out.
Yeah.
So it's a good kick, man. So kids usually can't get it. So I showed him how to do it. And I showed him how to do it like for a 10-year-old. You don't have to jump, just step back and do it. So the next day he came in, he said, "Hey, Mr. Miller, let me show you something." I said, "What?" He said, "Hold the pad for me." So I held the pad and he jumped up and bang, hit the kick. And I looked out and said, where you get that from? He said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Is it wrong?" I said, "No, it's good, but it's the very advanced technique. How did you get it so fast?" He said, "My dad taught me." And I said, "Oh, your dad know karate?" He said, "Yeah, he did karate for a while, you know." So who's your dad? Say, Eric Bischoff. I did not watch pro wrestling at that time. So I was like, "Oh, yeah." And I said, "Yeah." So he's pretty good. So usually I tell you, hey, if your mom and dad tell you to do something that I'm teaching you, you tell them to shut up. You let me, I'm the karate instructor. But when he came in there, he showed me that kick. I said, this guy knows something. So anyway, we have still didn't meet Eric, but on Thursday we have fight night, sparring night. That's the night we do all the sparring. So the way we set it up here, we have like 5 teachers all on one side of the floor. Boom, boom, up against the wall, 5 teachers. And they range in ages from, they were young, 20 to maybe 30, all tournament fighter, good fighters, about 5 black belts. And then I'll get on the far end so I can see what's going on. So then we'll tell the kids to start on one end, pick your teacher, pick you up a black belt, and line up in front of them. And when I said fight, you got to fight that black belt 1 round. Then you come down, fight the next one, till you get to me. Then when you get to me, I'm just playing around. I just wanted to see what the kids could do. And I was really kind of athletic. So when the kids were swinging, I could do a flip or do something just to watch their reaction. So we in there sparring at Joe Corley on Dick Road. We sparring, boom, boom, boom. And next thing you know, I see Garrett come in. Then I see this guy walking around on a cell phone outside. He had dark hair. And like I said, man, he had the whitest teeth I've ever seen on a human. He was a dinosaur. His teeth were so white, man. The smile was just glittering. You know how you do that clean, then you do that right there.
Yeah.
Man, he had that smile. And I was like, who is that? He said, "Oh, that's my dad." And under his arm, he had the old blue karate gi. And I was like, uh-oh, that's your dad? I said, "Yeah." So after a while, Gary came in. I said, "Get dressed. We get ready to sparring day." Boom. Gary came in. He got in line. Then the dad came in and said, "Hey, Mr. Miller, nice to meet you, sir." I said, "Yeah, nice to meet you." He said, "I brought my key. Is it all right if I spar?" And I didn't know what to say, because I didn't want somebody, dad, getting knocked out or something, or getting hurt and was trying to show off. I didn't know his level of karate. So I said, "Yeah." He came back out. He jumped in line at the bottom, at the far end. So I'm sparring, working with the kids, just jumping out the way, moving, jumping over here. And I kept hearing pow, pow, pow. I looked down there and they were fighting for real on the other end. Then I said, okay, I didn't watch the fight. Then the next fight came. His dad moved down again, came a little closer. He went up against one of my better teacher. He beat him. I mean, he whooped him with a back leg round kick, just straight punch. He kept on back leg round to boom punch. Guy couldn't pick it up. Then he came down to another. So I started paying attention. I said, wait a minute. The next fight is, man, let me see what this guy doing. This guy was going to work, man. Eric Bischoff was going to work in this class, man. He came there, he was going to show somebody something. And he beat up all 5 of my instructors. And then when he sat in front of me, I looked at him and I started thinking. I said, I'm thinking to myself like before a fight, it's like, okay, I've seen enough. I know what he can do. Now what the thing is, what do I want to do? Do I want to make this guy an example or what? So I'm looking at him. I say, if I don't whoop his ass, he gonna think his son is in a bad place, not a good karate school. That's what they think.
Mm-hmm.
But then I say, but I don't want to hurt somebody. Now, well, okay, let's just spar. So we started out. Boom, and he came at me hard. And when he came at me hard, I was hitting him with all kinds of stuff. Boom, 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 boom. Hitting him with all kinds of techniques. And then I heard somebody, I got heated a little bit. Then we got into it. And then I said to myself, I heard somebody cheering, go, Dad, come on, Dad, come on, Dad. And use that voice to cheer for me. But then I looked over at him, and it was Garrett cheering for his father. And that brought me back into another space to where I don't have anything to prove, and he don't have anything to prove. So I started letting him get in on me a little bit. He'd hit me and I'd shake his hand. So we started that kind of fight. So when it was over, we went to the locker room, and Garrett and Eric said, hey, Mr. Miller, thanks for letting me come in. I said, no, you look pretty good today. He looked at me. He said, no, thank you for not cleaning my face right off my head. He said, because everything you do, I knew you couldn't hurt me. He said, thank you for letting me look good. So, that way we kind of connected. And he just said, listen, you like Muhammad Ali. You very athletic. You can kick, you can punch. Kids are like you. Like, you should think about coming to work with me.
Yeah. And then you moved into working with Chuck Norris with Spike TV?
Oh, yeah. We did a little thing with my karate background, and then the exposure I had on TV. I started getting pretty good at recognizing. People started recognizing me in the karate world. I had a good following in the karate world, and Chuck Norris saw me at one of the tournament. He said, man, listen, with your knowledge and what you look like on TV and pro wrestling, if you can bring that to the martial arts world, I love it. And he said, yeah, how about working with me? So I worked with him for a year or so.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really
WCL.
So going back to Bischoff, and I don't want to talk about it no more, but this is the last time here, but now I understand why Bischoff had to respect the wrestlers when they didn't just run him over.
Oh, no.
Because I always wondered, I was like, well, how come these guys didn't run him over? Because you know how the attitudes was back then with all those guys.
I never seen anybody trying the thing on Bischoff.
Yeah.
Bischoff was a hothead too, man. He don't play.
Yeah.
And the funny part is this right here. I remember when I left WCW, and I got into WWF, and a few times Bischoff challenged Vince McMahon to a fight.
I do remember that.
Yeah, he challenged him to a fight. So when I got older, I remember this guy asking me one time in the locker room, I think it was The Undertaker. He said, if Vince McMahon and Eric got into a fight, but who do you think would win? Everybody was saying, I was like, man, Eric would kick Vince McMahon ass.
So now you go to the power plant. Who was you trained by at the power plant?
Sarge, a few people, Pez Watley.
Okay.
You guys probably don't know old Pez. Pez was a good hand. He was a good wrestler. Pez Watley, Jody Hamilton, one of the first original assassins,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we had a good crew down there.
So then you get down at the power plant, and then when did you make your debut in WCW? Was that 96, 97?
Man, I was in the power plant, man. It was so fun. I thought I was going to be on vacation. Back then, teaching karate, you didn't make that much money. You spent a lot of time. The best time of the day you spent in the karate school teaching, like from 3 to 7 or 8. Then you practice yourself. So it's like your whole day is gone, So you probably only made about $2,500, teaching karate. And that's not anything. Every time I'm there for the whole month, maybe not even that much. So when Eric Bischoff brought me in, he paid me really good.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm going to pay you just to go to school, train, and get ready to, debut.
In February of 97, you make your debut. 3 matches in one night.
And that's about a month in.
Jeez.
I had just been 1 month in the power plant. Listen, I was so scared. I didn't know anything about wrestling. I didn't know how to do I didn't know how to do anything. But here I am on the national big TV show in the ring with pro wrestlers. One thing I could do that helped me whenever I got lost, I knew I could do. I could fight. So all I did just say, okay, what would I do if somebody had me and it was my time to switch it over so I could fight? So yeah,
Well, the karate background helped you out too, because
that's what I'm saying. I could fight.
what I know about the wrestling business, you relied on your feet.
Light on.
you
That's
gotta-
why they call me the cat.
Yeah.
Light on my feet.
You got to be really light on your feet to be a really good wrestler.
And you know, I learned some Pez Walker said, you listen, always take control. Don't put yourself in somebody else's hand, you know, because they may trip and fall, which happened a few times. I don't know if you remember this guy picking another guy out, doing a running body on suplex, boom, and the guy tripped and fell and dumped the guy and broke his neck.
Mm-hmm.
So that things like that for real.
Yeah.
So what I was doing, the guy was trying to do a backdrop. He said, we do a backdrop, you go up and you flip around, you come back down on your back. And I was 250 pounds. So the guy went up and he said, boom, he did my first one, practice. I hit the backdrop. I went over, and instead of landing on my back, I would land on my feet, like on my feet, then flip back. Then they said, okay, all right, let's try this. So they tried to toss me out the ring. So instead of hip toss out the ring. So I took the hip toss out the ring. Instead of landing on the floor outside, I would land on my feet, then go to my back. And then Sting was down there get ready for a match. And he saw, I said, do anything y'all want to do. Throw me in the couch, hip toss, throw, whatever you want to do. See what I do. Boom, Goldberg tried. Boom, throw my land on my feet. Big Show. He picked me up, tried to body slam me and slam me out. I land on my feet. And then Goldberg said, man, you like a cat, man. You like a cat. I said, you can move, you can throw him anyway, he gonna land on his feet, which is good because now if I land on my feet first, I can always hit my back and control my fall.
So then you get into the wrestling. So then you had your storylines and you had some different things, but then you got the big storyline with James Brown. How'd that come about?
Woo, baby. Yeah, baby. Woo, woo. Yeah, boy, what do you know about James Brown? You don't know no damn James Brown. First of all, you too young. You don't know
I
James
got
Brown.
some James Brown on the phone.
You probably think James Brown one of the Beatles, right?
Well, I thought he was, but
See, I told you. Yeah.
he was a Georgia Beatle.
Yeah. Listen, James Brown, man, that me, I grew up. That's how I grew up. Grew up every day. My heroes, people like Muhammad Ali and James Brown. I like the way Muhammad Ali used to carry himself and how he used to talk smack. But then I heard Muhammad Ali talking about how hard he would work. He would work his butt off. He said, listen, I would die inside the gym working because I know if I beat myself up in practice, there's nothing the guy can do to me in the ring to stop me. I like that. I like putting that extra work in. That made me want to go out and work. And then James Brown come out and I heard him say one time, he said, my passion is in what you guys see. I want to use who I am from the inside, like a preacher. I want to preach to you through my dancing, through songs, and through the music. So those guys, man, those are my two guys that I looked up to. And James Brown, man, when I got to work with him, I got to meet Muhammad Ali, and it was so fun. I was just starstruck, man. I saw him in the back, and I asked him I told the guy, he bought the gloves for me. He said, you gonna get the gloves signed? So I remember giving him the gloves, and he signed the right hand. And I said, hey, you gonna sign the left one? He said, no, I'm gonna only sign the right hand. I'm gonna give you the left the next time I see you. So he said that, you know, and then I worked with James Brown when James Brown came, man, and James was a good guy, man. He was a hell of a dude.
Yeah.
And when I say hell of a dude, man, there's no way you can explain him.
That's what a lot of people said.
I hadn't been called the N-word so many times till he came. Every word came out of his mouth with the N-word.
Jeez.
And it was,
Hey, in you, in this, in that, in this. But that's how they talk back in the old days.
yeah. And then going to that, we found out that you're one of two that's only been caped by him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And Michael Jackson was the other.
And it was so funny when he caped me, I didn't even think about it. My guy was supposed to cape me, Sonny Ono. He was supposed to cape me.
Okay.
Somebody else was going to put the cape on me. But when I started doing his dance, his music, he just got into it. Listen, We didn't practice anything. I saw James Brown before the match, probably about 30 minutes. I went into the trailer. We talked. He said, "What you gonna do?" I said, "Let's just come to the ring and just have fun, talk and do." We did not know. Matter of fact, when the time for us to come out, I came to the ring and they were playing my James, how you call it, my James Brown music.
Yep.
So they playing my music, and then right when I get ready to talk and yell at people, I said, "Turn my James Brown music off." Next thing you know, James Brown came. I hit the ring, boom, and I'm walking around talking about James Brown. So the thing was, I was going to talk about James Brown, then they were going to hit his music, he was going to come out. They were going to hit his music, then they were going to send out a fake James Brown. The guy had a wig on. So they sent out this little fat black guy with a wig on. He came out. "That's not James Brown." Then I took his wig. Then the guy snatched his wig off. And the guy was like this. "That's not James Brown." Then next thing you know, boom, the music hit. Here comes James Brown. The crowd went crazy. We was in San Francisco. I mean, the crowd went, it's like the loudest I've heard in years. It was just that exciting. So it was just that exciting to see James Brown. So when James Brown came out, James Brown came to the ring. Man, when he got in the ring, man, he looked at me. He was happy. He was smiling. I gave him a hug. I "What's up, James?" He made me look good, you know. James came up there. We were supposed to talk a little bit. So I said, "Turn my James Brown music off." They turned the music, got ready to go off. James Brown got the mic out of my hand and said, "Man, play my music." we didn't plan that. He said, "Man, play my music." So when they played the music, I just stepped back. Went out there and started doing my little dance. Then he pulled me back and he started dancing a little bit and the crowd was going crazy. Then he pulled back. Now the whole process was just the lead up. Once I get through dancing, it looked like I wasn't going to dance no more. I dropped to the floor and I used to have to signal to someone to come and put the cape on me. But when we started doing that, it must have been on time because when we started doing that, I dropped to the floor. James reached and took the cape out of his guy hand that was with him, came and put the cape on me, and I walked off, and that was history, man. That can never be duplicated.
Yeah. And then WCW gets bought out by WWE.
Yeah, it can never be duplicated.
And then how did that transition work for you?
Man, it worked good, man, because I got to spend 5 years at home getting paid. And I spent time with my kids.
Because everybody had a guaranteed contract.
Not everybody, but we did.
Yeah.
It just so happened, man, the guard was in the right place. He did the right thing for me. I mean, not the right thing for me, but he blessed me because I had just signed my contract. So it was starting anyway. So instead I said I can go to WWF or I can stay home and be a stay-home father. So I decided the best time of my life. I stayed home. Took my son to AAU basketball, got to play with my daughter, go to cheerleading practice with her, put him in private school, and, just spend some good time with him.
Yeah. And then you transitioned out of that, and now you're doing some acting stuff?
Yeah. I'm doing a couple of, I don't know how to put it, man, because I just find myself in these different positions and different things, and I just do the most. I get the most out of it. Mm-hmm. Like you said, I went to LA looking to be in movies. I went there, man, and looking around, be in movies, and nothing really popped off. Nothing ever happened, So I'm with my girlfriend at the time. She's my wife now, but I told her, I said, "Let's go back to Atlanta." So I came back home, and next thing something strange happened. I get a phone call from my manager in LA and say, "Hey, these guys in New York want you to audition for a movie." I'm like, "How did y'all hook that up in New York?" And I'm in Atlanta. So, well, the only thing is they want you to read for their part. I said, "Okay." Then they want you to fly out to New York. And I said, "Fly to New York?" And I was like, "Who is this guy?" I knew nothing about the guy. They sent me the script. And when I got the script, I said, "Let me read the script." I started reading the script. And usually I read something, then I just stop and start doing other things. But I've opened the script and I read it from front to back. And I told my wife, I said, "This is a good script right here." She said, "It's a good movie. It's a wrestling movie." You know, I was like, oh yeah. Then they said, well, all you got to do is fly out to New York and meet the director now, Darren Aronofsky. So I was like, okay, tell him get my ticket. And my manager said, no, you got to pay for your own ticket. I said, what? How am I going to pay for my own ticket? And these guys want me in their movie. What kind of movie is this, man? It's some old Jack Shack movie, you know? How the hell I'm going to go out here and see this movie? So anyway, I said, I'm not doing it. I called a couple of my friends. I called Goldberg. Goldberg said, no, if they want you, they'll pay for it. The only person that told me I should go with my wife, she said, you need to just go out there. I'll buy the ticket. You need to just go out there and check it out. So anyway, I got out there. I went in. They picked me up at the airport. I went in. I met this guy. Didn't know anybody. I didn't know Darren Aronofsky. I knew none of his movies, but apparently he was a top-notch guy then. He got some great movies out. And so I went in. I read in front of him and his executive producer. I read my lines in front of him. And then Darren said, yeah, you sound good. Then he said, can you stay a day or two? I was like, my ticket's a round trip, man. What the hell are you talking about? I'm leaving today. You know, I'm leaving the deal to red eye. I'm getting out of here. And then he said, oh, no, don't worry about that. We'll take care of that. And then the first person came in I read with was Nicolas Cage. And Nicolas Cage was working in the ring. And I was looking at Nicolas Cage in the ring, and it was just so soft. I was like, I guess he's an actor. He's a great actor, but, you know, he just don't look right in his part. So I didn't say anything. I kept my mouth shut because I was just happy to be there. So after that, Darren came to me and said, can you stay 2 more days? I said, why? I said, because I want you to read with somebody. And I said, oh, not Nicholas. He said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. I want you to read somebody. Boom. So 2 days went by. Next thing you know, I go into the office. He said, yeah, he'll be here in a minute. So in walked in, the door opened, in walked Mickey Rourke. And when Mickey Rourke came in, I looked at Mickey and he looked the part. He looked the part. He looked like a beat up old DDP. I know y'all, I shouldn't say that. You know, but what the hell he gonna do? I'm a karate champion. Yeah, but
one day to walk.
Yeah, and I don't need that. I got God. God got my knees. I got a good pair of knees, baby. So Mickey Rourke walk in, and Mickey Rourke just looked like a wrestler, been on the road. You know what I mean? He had that long blonde hair. He muscled up, muscled up. We read together, and it was magic. Matter of fact, it was so magic. He looked at me. He said, he's a natural. He's a natural. So Darren looked at Darren and said, you got the job. You know, so that's how I ended up working. 2 weeks later, came back and we shot the movie The Wrestler. Mm-hmm. And then it was kind of funny because when we were shooting the movie, I'm used to working with a TV company, a big studio. You know, TNT. Mm-hmm. That's a big studio. Think about all the equipment we had was the best, like best this, best that. 18 people standing around. You need water, you got this. When we were shooting this movie and some of the scenes, this equipment you got here looked better. I was like, what the hell is this? It was a $5 million movie. I was like, man, it looked better. You know, it by the way of it. Then it was just Darren. Then it was just only me and Mickey doing our thing. Nobody else. Then for some reason, they kept that part a secret because it was the end of the movie. So we standing there, man. We seeing all this stuff going on, and Darren and Mickey Rourke got familiar with each other. So they started kind of cracking little jokes about each other. And then I heard Darren say, Mickey, finish the movie and start complaining. He said, when this movie right here finish and we win the Oscar, you're going to be thanking me. And I'm looking around like, Oscar. What the hell, an Oscar, man? Yeah, how did this movie going to win the Oscar? Because it just didn't look, it didn't look good. But I only saw one part of it. And then we went through it, and they kept saying, they said about 3 times they were going to win the Oscar. I was like, man, please, this movie ain't going to win. No, probably ain't going to even make it to the theater. So after the movie was done, I was home for a little while. I had a friend who worked in the movie business. He called me. He said, hey, Ernest, what was the name of that movie you was in? That's The Wrestler. He said, hey, man, that movie is winning all the film festivals.
Yeah.
That's one of the best movies out now. I said, it is? I couldn't believe it. I thought, it is? He said, yes. He said, that's a great movie, man. Congratulations. So I was like, okay. So that was my first movie, and then I did a couple other. Michael White, Blood and Bone. Then I went to China, did The Legend of Bruce Lee. I got 2 movies out now. I got one, The Unbreakable Bunch. I got a movie with Michael White coming out June the 12th at the American Black Film Festival called Troubled Man. Got a lot of good people in there. So I should do what the hell I want to do when I want to do it.
And they were right. I mean, it got nominated for an Oscar, right?
Who? Oh, listen, I thought it was this close. Matter of fact, one of the best restaurants here, they said, hey, Cat, you can come to the Oscar, but I stayed home to be with my friends and family. We had a big gathering at the, what was the name of that place? Yeah, Preachies. Great 5-star restaurant here in Buckhead. They gave me a whole award, Oscar night. They invited all my friends and family, and we had a great time. It lost by 1. And what's the name of that movie that beat us out? Slumdog or Slumlord, Millionaire?
Yeah.
You remember that? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hey man, this guy keep walking around making me nervous, man. He make my hands want to go to work on the
trying to make sure you look good.
Yeah, so I'm on. Somebody gonna need to make him look good with these knots on his head.
So doing the film stuff. How was the reality show, My Cat from Hell? How was that one?
What the hell are you talking about?
Yes.
You got the wrong cat, man.
Oh man, it says American reality series called My Cat from Hell.
I don't remember that. I've been hit too many times. I've been hit too many times, brother. See, I was in there and I was sleeping. I didn't even know.
So I guess you getting into the book realm now?
Yeah, we got a couple of guys working on the book, man. Something to help, not to tell my story. I don't think it's my story that people want to hear. It's a story that people want to hear, because it's certain things in that thing we all go through that we kind of can relate to each other. Mm-hmm. And hopefully somebody read my book and say, oh, hey, this is it right here. This is how he went through that.
Well, you want to plug anything? You want to plug a movie, a book, a
I just plugged the podcast. Yeah, the podcast. I'm on you guys' thing, man. But you guys listen. If you guys like what you're listening to right now, you get a lot of me right here on the Cat's Corner podcast, YouTube. So, I can talk my hand out.
Well, we got a couple questions we always ask. We're gonna let Bobby Keith.
Yeah, man. So being that you grew up here in Atlanta and we're in Atlanta today, I gotta know, man, what's your go-to Chick-fil-A order?
I would say, did Chick-fil-A kind of sponsor you guys or something?
No, sir.
They don't. I don't eat Chick-fil-A.
No? Oh, okay.
I don't eat Chick-fil-A, man. I don't eat that. They got so many chemical in it. No, I don't.
Well, what's your go-to place to eat?
Chops.
Chops.
I like a nice steak.
Yeah.
I like a nice steak, sit down, talk to my friends, really peaceful. So, and then New York Prime.
What about the Varsity? You like that place?
Ooh, don't even talk. Yeah, man. Now, a good hot dog.
Yeah.
I think about
he took me there. That
place.
place is like iconic.
What it is? What did you eat?
I had the cheeseburger.
You got the frosted orange too.
Oh yeah.
What did you eat?
That is.
I always get the chili cheese dog with onions.
Hot dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, that frosted orange was incredible.
He would go eat a hot dog.
yeah. So the other question
That brother would
is,
go with a hot dog in your hand. Where you at, boy?
Yeah.
That's it.
So another question we have: if we were to get in the car and go down to Savannah on a road trip,
I'll kill you. I'm telling you right now, you don't want to go, I'll kill you.
what
That's too long with you in the car.
what kind of music you listening to?
Man, I'm strange, man. I listen to anything. You know, I'm sometimes a country boy with a hat on. Sometimes, you know, I'm a hip hop rapper. Sometimes old school. I'm a lover, you know, OJ's, you know, Isler brother. So, you know, I listen to anything. It depends on the mood I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I only got one more thing to say. You got to be a good talker because you said you got married. So you had to talk somebody into married. So that had to be.
See, bro, I'm gonna bend those glasses up. You keep messing with me. I'm gonna be the first guest to beat up the host.
You'll get paid off of it because it'll go viral and all those views. And we'll owe you all the money.
Yeah. then the FBI is gonna come get you for a hate crime because you got beat up a midget.
Yeah, man. Listen, you guys are doing a great job, though, man. I watch you guys all the time. Man. I've been watching you guys, man. You're having some good guests, man. It's fun. You know, there's nothing serious. I'm not. You guys didn't have me here to try to start a fight with some of my friends or talk bad about somebody. Like, just have a good time and
we want to get to know the person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
that's what the podcast should be about.
Yep.
Well, we can't thank you enough for being here and thank you for your time.
Hey, brother, I had a great time. Thanks for thinking about me, man. Bring me in.
Yes, sir. Well, as for Ernest the Cat Miller, I'm Keith Kilgore, co-host Johnny Free. You've been watching the 25-8 podcast, and we'll see you next time. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna trust myself. Oh, I'm gonna love myself.